Welcome to the complete story of Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories. The chapter that bridges the gap in Sora's journey between the original Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts II. A story about memory, about friendship, about promises, and yes, about the heart of the cards. Originally released as the first spin-off in the series, Chain of Memories set an early precedent for what Kingdom Hearts would become. Bold, complicated, and unafraid to hide essential plot developments inside what many assumed was an unimportant side project. If the story of Kingdom Hearts ever felt like it was spiraling into insanity, this is perhaps where the tracks first begin to bend. But don't worry, we love it, and we're here to guide you through it. I'm Peter from Birds of Play, and in this video, we're going to revisit every forgotten promise, every manufactured memory, and every quiet manipulation. One link in the chain at a time. If you enjoy deep dives into the full chronological stories of your favorite games, consider subscribing for more complete story content. And let us know in the comments which game you'd like to see receive the treatment next. We're making a list and checking it twice. But now, without further ado, the story of Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories. Having just sealed the door to darkness and set out in search of their friends, Sora, Donald, and Goofy follow Pluto, who carries a letter marked with King Mickey's seal, certain it will lead them to their next adventure. After a long day of running, exhaustion overtakes Sora, and when he wakes, he finds himself alone. In the silence, a figure clad in black appears before him and speaks in riddles, warning that along the road ahead lies something he needs, but to claim it, he must lose something dear. Before Sora can question him further, the stranger disappears. Elsewhere, a blonde girl quietly sketches a towering, unfamiliar castle. Soon after, Sora reunites with Donald and Goofy, though none of them can explain how they arrived at the very castle from the girl's drawing. Its enormous doors stand open, and they step inside. The interior is blindingly white and eerily pristine. Goofy hesitates, wondering if they should really barge in, but Donald insists they must if they want to find the king. When asked how he knows Mickey is here, he can't explain it. He just has a feeling. Strangely, Sora and Goofy share that same certainty. They are convinced that their friends are somewhere within these walls. Jiminy warns them to be cautious, but they agree they have no choice but to press on. As Goofy turns to close the door, the black-cloaked figure stands there once more. Donald immediately casts Thunder, but nothing happens. He tries other spells, yet every ability they once commanded is gone. The stranger calmly explains that the moment they stepped into this castle, they began to forget. Every spell, every skill, every power they once knew. In this place, to find is to lose, and to lose is to find, he tells them. This is Castle Oblivion. Within its halls, they will meet people from their past, people they cherish, people they miss. When Sora asks if that includes Riku, the man replies that if Riku is who he seeks, then he may indeed be here. Without warning, the stranger rushes Sora, flower petals swirling in his wake. Sora cannot defend himself. Yet, when the attack ends, he finds he is unharmed. Confused, he demands to know what was done to him. The cloaked man explains that he merely sampled Sora's memories, and from them created a card, one bearing the image of Traverse Town, the world where Sora first reunited with Donald and Goofy after Destiny Islands fell. In this castle, memories take shape. The man hands Sora the card and instructs him to use it to open the door ahead. Beyond it lies a world born from his own heart. With that, the mysterious figure vanishes, leaving Sora and his friends with only one path forward, through the door and into their memories. Using the card, Sora opens the door and steps into Traverse Town. The cloaked figure appears again and explains that what Sora sees is not real, but a world shaped from his own memories. Jiminy suddenly realizes that Donald and Goofy are gone, and the stranger calmly tells them that they are now at the mercy of the cards. If Sora wants to regain his strength, he must learn to master them. The man teaches him how to fight using cards, how to summon allies, how to rebuild his power from memory itself. When Donald and Goofy reappear, now dressed in new outfits, they wonder if the change is because of the cards, but the figure offers no further answers. From here on, Sora must climb Castle Oblivion and uncover its secrets on his own. Jiminy Cricket, who has been making records of their adventures, checks his journal and insists that Donald and Goofy first came to Traverse Town with Pluto before ever meeting Sora. The timeline makes no sense, but Sora decides it's pointless to untangle it now. To make matters more confusing, Leon, a friend from Traverse Town, steps out of the shadows and warns Sora to be careful, unless he wants to fall to the Heartless. When Sora greets him by name, Leon is taken aback. He has no memory of ever meeting Sora. Yet, moments later, he speaks Sora's name himself, without understanding how he knows it. Even he can feel that something is wrong. Yuffie, a young ninja girl, soon joins them, explaining that their friend Aerith sensed a strange power in town. Like Leon, she does not remember Sora either, and suggests they visit Aerith to sort this out. When they find her, Aerith has also forgotten him, yet she feels that he belongs there. Sora reminds Leon of the words they shared in Hollow Bastion after sealing the keyhole. We may never meet again, and Leon instinctively finishes the thought, but we'll never forget each other. The connection is still there, buried beneath whatever is clouding their minds. Aerith suggests that Sora's heart is remembering for them, filling in what their memories cannot. Sora explains he is searching for a friend somewhere in Castle Oblivion, but none of them even realize they are inside such a place. Continuing through town, Sora runs into Sid, the local mechanic. Like the others, Sid somehow knows Sora's name without knowing why. Sora tells him he's looking for his friend, but Sid insists the only thing unusual in town is an enormous Heartless that appears whenever the bell tolls. As the bell rings, the massive Heartless emerges, and Sora defeats it in battle. Afterwards, he accepts that Riku is not here. He bids farewell to Leon and the others, but as he prepares to leave, Aerith approaches him one last time and quietly suggests that she, and this entire town, may be nothing more than fragments of his own memory. Sora refuses to accept that. Yet, Aerith warns him that deeper within the castle, he will face more illusions. Shadows shaped from his heart. They will look real, they will feel real, and they will try to lead him astray. She urges him to stay focused on what truly matters, because in this place, even memories cannot be trusted. Leaving Traverse Town behind, Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to the pristine white halls of Castle Oblivion. The cloaked man is waiting for them. He calmly asks Sora whether he enjoyed meeting his memories. Sora demands to know what he really wants. But before the conversation can continue, another figure in black appears, this one with fiery red hair and a far more casual attitude. He teases the first man for hogging the hero, and with little more than a glance exchanged between them, the masked figure vanishes, leaving the newcomer to test Sora for himself. The red-haired man introduces himself as Axel, and punctuates it with a phrase that will soon become familiar. Got it memorized? Once Sora repeats his name, Axel summons a pair of blazing chakrams and attacks, warning Sora not to go dying on him just yet. The fight is fierce, but controlled, as if Axel is measuring him rather than trying to win. When Sora prevails, Axel is barely fazed. Instead, he congratulates him and rewards him with another card, declaring that Sora is ready to climb further into the castle. He hints that someone very special awaits him, the person most important to him. Axel cryptically remarks that Sora has lost sight of the light within the darkness, that he has forgotten that he forgot. He even offers to give him a hint, hand extended, but Sora refuses. He will figure it out on his own. Axel seems pleased by that answer, yet leaves him with a warning. When his sleeping memories awaken, he may no longer be the person he is now. As they press onward, an unsettling realization begins to form. They try to recall their recent adventures, Hollow Bastion, sealing the keyhole, everything they just spoke about with Leon and the others, but the details slipped through their fingers. Moments ago, those memories were clear. Now they are fading. Slowly, quietly, Castle Oblivion is taking them away. Card in hand, Sora opens another door within Castle Oblivion and steps into Agrabah, where he reunites with Aladdin in the middle of a fight against the Heartless. As the swarm refuses to let up, Aladdin rubs the magic lamp and summons the genie, wishing the Heartless away in an instant. Donald immediately asks why he didn't do that from the start, and Genie reminds them that Aladdin only has 3 wishes. With the immediate danger gone, Aladdin explains that he needs to return to the palace, and Sora and his friends agree to go with him. Along the way, Aladdin recounts how Jafar tricked him into entering the Cave of Wonders to retrieve the lamp. Genie admits he knows what it feels like to be bound to someone else's commands, and Aladdin promises that his final wish will be used to set him free. He also confesses that he wants to see Princess Jasmine again. Genie suggests that if he plans to win her heart, he should appear as Prince Ali rather than as a street rat. But when they arrive at the palace, they find Jasmine under attack by Heartless. Without hesitation, Aladdin uses his second wish to save her, instead of transforming himself. More Heartless descend, yet this time Sora handles them with the Keyblade, sparing Aladdin from spending his last wish. After the battle, they discover the lamp has been stolen. The thief reveals himself as Jafar, the royal vizier who seeks power, accompanied by his parrot Iago. Jafar admits he expected Aladdin to wish his final wish on Jasmine, and when that failed, simply took the lamp for himself. With the genie now bound to him, Jafar declares that he will marry Jasmine and become Sultan. He immediately uses a wish to have Genie deliver Jasmine into his custody, and Genie is forced to obey. Aladdin falters for a moment at the sight of Jasmine taken from him, but quickly regains his resolve. As Sora, Donald, and Goofy confront Jafar, the villain mocks Aladdin for giving up and refuses to waste another wish on them. In the chaos, Aladdin seizes an opening and forces Jafar to squander another wish, leaving him with only one remaining. Desperate for ultimate power, Jafar uses his final wish to become an all-powerful genie himself. A transformation is overwhelming, but once Sora defeats him, Jafar is sealed inside his own lamp, condemned to the same servitude he once imposed on others. With the lamp recovered, Aladdin still has one wish left. Rather than using it to become a prince worthy of Jasmine, he keeps his promise and frees Genie. Determined to win Jasmine's heart as himself, not as a fantasy, Aladdin chooses honesty over illusion, a choice that quietly echoes the strange lessons Sora is beginning to learn within Castle Oblivion. Leaving Agrabah behind, they return once more to the silent white halls of Castle Oblivion. The unease is growing. Goofy insists that Hollow Bastion was real, that it was the castle where Sora used the Keyblade to free Kairi's heart after she had lost it when Destiny Islands fell. Sora remembers that moment clearly. He remembers becoming a Heartless to restore her. But when he tries to picture the castle itself, the image won't come. The name feels distant, as if it belongs to someone else's story. Jiminy quickly flips open his journal, certain the answers will be written there. He had carefully recorded every world, every battle, every friend they met. But the pages are blank. Every entry has vanished. The 3 of them fall silent. If the journal can be erased so completely, what else is disappearing? It cannot just be ink on paper. Their memories feel thinner somehow, harder to grasp. The higher they climb the steps of Castle Oblivion, the more they seem to lose. And they remember the warning. To find is to lose, and to lose is to find. Donald wonders aloud if they should turn back before they forget everything, before even the king, Riku, or Kairi fade away. But Goofy shakes his head. He refuses to believe that could happen. Even when Sora turned into a Heartless, he still remembered who his friends were. Some things, Goofy insists, are stronger than forgetting. Their next card leads them to the Olympus Coliseum. the legendary arena where heroes test their strength beneath the watchful eyes of the gods. Hosted at the entrance is an announcement for the Olympus Coliseum Survival Cup, a brutal contest where competitors must race through obstacles and battle along the way. Even the great hero Hercules himself is listed as a participant. As Sora and the others approach, Hades, the hot-headed lord of the underworld, appears, cursing Hercules' name. Moments later, Cloud Strife steps forward, a mercenary swordsman with a fractured past. He reminds Hades that he was hired to eliminate Hercules, and that in return, Hades promised to restore his lost memories. After clearing a preliminary course, Sora and his friends find Phil, Hercules' satyr trainer, and ask to enter the cup. Phil laughs it off, insisting they don't stand a chance against Hercules. Still, they persist. Hercules himself intervenes and encourages Phil to let them compete. After all, they are the only ones who completed the preliminary trial. At that moment, Cloud enters as well, making the total of 3 teams that will be competing. While advancing through the obstacle course, Sora encounters Cloud waiting in ambush. He has no interest in the tournament. He is only there for Hercules. Even if it breaks the rules, he intends to finish the job. Sora refuses to let him sabotage the games and challenges him directly. Their clash forces Cloud to abandon the ambush and race ahead to confront Hercules at the finish line instead. By the time Sora arrives, Hercules has the upper hand, but Cloud refuses to yield. He insists he must win, that he needs his memories back. The desperation in his voice resonates with Sora, who is struggling with his own memories. Before the fight can conclude, Hades intervenes, warning Cloud not to say too much. With a cruel laugh, Hades reveals the truth. He never had the power to restore Cloud's memories. It was a lie to manipulate him. Then, declaring that it's never too late to enter the games, Hades inserts himself into the cup and attacks Hercules directly. Sora and his friends leap to Hercules' defense and defeat Hades, driving him back to the underworld. In the aftermath, Phil announces that the games are cancelled. Cloud, realizing he was used, offers a quiet apology before departing. As he leaves, Sora tells him he hopes he finds what he is searching for. If a memory truly matters, Sora believes, it cannot be truly lost. Back in the wide corridors of Castle Oblivion, Donald suddenly grows uneasy about King Mickey. Sora asks why, and Donald admits he just needed to be sure he still remembered him. Relief washes over him when he confirms they are searching for the king. Goofy recalls how Mickey stayed behind on the other side of the door to darkness to save them all. Following their example, Sora reminds him that he is searching for Riku, his best friend, who was with the king when the door closed. The reminder feels necessary, as if saying it out loud keeps it from slipping away. Elsewhere in the castle, Axel observes Sora's progress alongside another member of Organization XIII, Larxene, a sharp-tongued blonde in the same black coat. She questions what Axel finds so interesting about their keyblade-wielding guest. Axel explains that Sora once became a Heartless, and yet managed to hold on to his sense of self, something almost unheard of. Only one other person has ever done the same. For an organization devoted to unlocking the mysteries of the heart, Sora is more than just a pawn. He is a curiosity worth studying. Meanwhile, Sora and his friends try to determine whether anything else has faded from their memories. The problem is, they cannot recall what they might have forgotten. If something is missing, it is already gone. Goofy reasons that it must not have been very important. To reassure himself, Sora pulls Kairi's good luck charm from his pocket, the charm she gave him before everything began. He promised to return it to her one day, and he insists that as long as he remembers that promise, he can never forget Kairi. As he says her name, a vision of Kairi appears before him. But just behind him, another figure briefly materializes. A blonde girl he doesn't recognize. She vanishes just as quickly. Sora has no memory of her at all, but with no answers waiting in the empty halls, they press onward. The next card leads them to Wonderland, a world where logic bends and reason rarely survives for long. Almost immediately, they run into the White Rabbit, frantic as ever, terrified that the Queen of Hearts will have him executed for being late. They follow him straight into the middle of a trial, where Alice stands accused. The charge is unclear, but the Queen insists Alice somehow aided the Heartless, and, more strangely, stole her memory. The problem is that the Queen can't remember what the evidence was. Convinced that someone must be to blame, she declares Alice guilty anyway. Sora steps forward to defend her. With no way to prove the real culprit, he claims responsibility himself. The Queen orders her card soldiers to attack, but Sora and his friends defeat them easily. In the confusion, Alice slips away, and they hurry after her. When they find her, Alice asks Sora if he truly was the thief. He denies it, and she thanks him for standing up for her regardless. Then the Cheshire Cat appears, grinning from the shadows. He explains that the Queen will not stop chasing Alice until she recovers what she believes was taken from her. But he also offers a warning. In a place like this, trying too hard to remember can cause memories to twist and deceive. Soon enough, they encounter the Queen again. This time her memory has deteriorated even further. She can barely recall why she was angry in the first place. Before she can decide their fate, a bizarre Heartless appears. After Sora defeats it, Alice cleverly turns the Queen's own confusion against her, echoing the Cheshire Cat's warning. She prompts the Queen to strain her memory until it collapses under the effort, convincing her that she herself ordered the creature destroyed. Satisfied by this false certainty, the Queen pardons them, not because the truth was uncovered, but because her fractured memory now tells her what she wants to hear. Bidding farewell to Alice, they step back into the pale stillness of Castle Oblivion. The silence feels heavier now. Sora lingers on the image that flashed before him earlier, the image of the blonde girl who was not Kairi. He strains to remember her face, her voice, her name. He is certain she mattered, certain she belonged somewhere in the past, but no matter how hard he reaches for the memory, it slips away. Elsewhere in the castle, that same blonde girl quietly continues her drawings. This time, her sketch shows 4 children standing on a sunlit shore: Sora, Riku, Kairi, and herself, all of them holding hands, as if they had always been together. As they walk, Sora tells Donald and Goofy that he's beginning to remember another girl from the islands where he grew up. He says that the 4 of them used to play together every day. Jiminy flips through his blank journal and gently points out that Sora has never mentioned her before. Sora hesitates, then reasons that he must have simply forgotten. Maybe climbing through the castle is bringing the memories back, piece by piece. Even so, there is something unsettling about it. He can picture her, standing beside them, can feel that she was important, yet he can't recall her name. And for someone who swore he would never forget his friends, that thought troubles him greatly. The next card brings them to Monstro, the enormous whale that once swallowed ships whole. Inside the dim, organic corridors of the creature, they reunite with Pinocchio, the wooden puppet who longs to become a real boy. Jiminy Cricket recognizes him instantly. Long before meeting Sora, Jiminy served as Pinocchio's conscience, guiding him toward honesty and courage. Their reunion is warm, but short-lived. Pinocchio proudly claims he has been a good boy and has not told a single lie, only for his nose to grow on the spot, betraying him. Pinocchio leads them to Geppetto, the kindly woodcarver who created him. Geppetto explains that he sailed out to sea in search of his son and was swallowed by Monstro in the process. Though the ordeal has been frightening, Geppetto insists that being reunited with someone you love makes any hardship worthwhile. Sora quietly agrees. But while they are talking, Pinocchio wanders off again, and they set out to find him. When they catch up, Pinocchio claims he is searching for a treasure, and once again his nose stretches forward. After a pause, he admits the truth. He is looking for a way out. This time, his nose does not grow. Before they can return to Geppetto, a powerful Heartless appears and engulfs Pinocchio, trapping him inside its body. Sora defeats the creature, and Pinocchio's struggle from within gives them an idea. If fighting the darkness inside the Heartless freed him, perhaps doing the same inside Monstro will force the whale to expel them. They press deeper into the belly of the beast, driving out the Heartless that infested it. The plan works. Monstro thrashes and finally coughs them out, releasing Pinocchio and Geppetto back into the open sea. As they drift away, Jiminy feels the sting of another goodbye. But Sora reminds him that goodbyes are not the end. What matters is that they were reunited once, and that means they can be reunited again. Back in Castle Oblivion, Donald asks Sora if he can remember anything more about the other girl. Sora closes his eyes and tries. The memories come in fragments. She was quiet. She liked to draw. When they all went to the beach, she would sit in the sand with a sketchbook instead of swimming. Sometimes she drew the ocean. Sometimes she drew the three of them. He and Riku used to argue over who she would draw next. It felt important at the time. Then, one day, she was simply gone. No goodbye, no explanation. He remembers standing on the shore and crying because he didn't understand where she had left. And yet, even with all that, he still can't remember her name. Jiminy notices something strange. Sora is not just losing memories, he is gaining new ones. Or perhaps uncovering old ones buried deeper inside. Jiminy suggests that maybe the castle works both ways. If memories are laid within the heart, perhaps forgetting what is on the surface is the only way to reach what lies beneath. Maybe to remember something long hidden, you first have to let something else go. Elsewhere in the castle, Axel and Larxene watch Sora's progress from the shadows. They agree that everything is unfolding as planned. Larxene remarks that Axel has already had his fun testing him, so now it's her turn. Axel warns her not to push Sora too far. Larxene smirks at what she calls his soft spot, but Axel makes it clear, Sora is the key. If they intend to challenge the leadership of Organization XIII, they will need him. Larxene casually reminds him not to speak so openly about their ambitions before disappearing. Once she's gone, Axel mutters that perhaps she is the one who should learn to keep quiet. Their next card opens the door to Halloween Town, a world of twisted trees and crooked rooftops, where fright is an art form and fear is celebrated. They are greeted by Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King himself, master of scares and self-proclaimed expert on all things terrifying. Jack delights in Donald's startled shriek and declares that they are going to get along wonderfully. However, the town has a problem. Heartless have begun appearing, and Jack is determined to investigate. Together, they had to consult the town's resident scientist, Dr. Finkelstein. Inside his laboratory, Dr. Finkelstein explains that he has been experimenting with a potion brewed from forget-me-nots, designed to restore what he calls true memories. Yet, the moment he caught a whiff of it, Heartless began appearing throughout town. Before he could properly study it, the potion vanished. Suspecting his assistant, Sally, he asks Sora and the others to find her. They soon discover Sally carrying the potion. She admits she hid it because the Heartless appeared the instant the doctor smelled it, and she fears what might happen if someone actually drinks it. Before they can decide what to do, Oogie Boogie sweeps in and steals the potion, cackling as he makes his escape. They chase him down, but by the time they corner him, Oogie has already swallowed it. Instead of gaining clarity, he is overwhelmed by fear, panicking at whatever memories surfaced within him. Sora defeats him, and they recover the remaining drops of the potion. Back in the lab, only a small amount remains. The doctor suggests Sora drink it to restore his lost memories, but Sora refuses. He remembers Axel's offer of a hint, and the promise he made to find the truth on his own. Dr. Finkelstein speculates that Oogie was shaken by confronting his true memories, which gives Sora pause. What if uncovering his own hidden memories changes him? Jack steps forward with an unexpected reassurance. Fear and doubt, he says, are not weaknesses. They are proof that the heart is strong enough to question itself. And in a place like Castle Oblivion, that strength may be the only thing keeping Sora grounded. When they return to Castle Oblivion, Vexen is waiting for them with a mocking smile. She asks Sora whether he is enjoying his stay. It must be refreshing, she says, shedding all those useless memories and uncovering the ones buried deep within his heart. But for all his progress, she points out, he is still missing something important. When the poor girl learns that he forgot her name, Vexen adds sweetly, it will surely break her heart. She tells him that the bad guys are holding this girl captive somewhere in the castle, and as the hero, it is his job to save her. Unfortunately, she happens to be one of the bad guys, so he will have to go through her first. As she lunges at him in a flash of lightning, something slips from Sora's pocket, a star-shaped good luck charm. He stares at it, confused. He's been carrying it all this time, yet he can't remember who gave it to him. Vexen leans in and tells him to think carefully. Think about the girl. Think about her name. The answer rises slowly to his lips until it finally takes shape. Naminé. That was her name. Sora fights Vexen, fueled now by urgency and emotion. When the battle ends, she casually hands him another set of cards, forged from his own memories. Whatever the outcome, she seems satisfied. Without offering any further answers, she disappears. Later, Vexen rejoins Axel, claiming she let Sora win. Axel dryly remarks that it looked more like she simply lost. A third member of Organization XIII approaches, Vexen, the group's resident scientist. He chastises Vexen for being bested by Sora, calling it an embarrassment to the organization. Vexen announces that he intends to conduct an experiment of his own to determine whether Sora is truly worth their interest. Axel silently hands him a card bearing the image of Destiny Islands. He will need it. Meanwhile, Sora has grown restless, now that he remembers Naminé's name. He is determined to reach her as quickly as possible. The next card leads him to the 100-Acre Wood, a gentle storybook world where time seems softer and worries feel distant. There he finds Winnie the Pooh, sitting alone on a log. Pooh explains that he's looking for his friends, but no one else is around. Perhaps, he muses, he's looking for nobody. Sora offers to help him search, even in a place shaped by memories. The idea of losing one's friends feels all too familiar. After spending time in the 100-Acre Wood, Sora returns to the stark halls of Castle Oblivion, and there, standing before him, is Riku. Sora is stunned. He's been searching for him this entire time, yet Riku greets him with cold distance. He acts as though Sora's presence is an inconvenience, as though he's standing in the way of something more important. Riku tells him bluntly that Sora is no longer looking for him, he's looking for Naminé. And worse, Riku says, the feeling is not mutual. Naminé does not want to see Sora. She doesn't even want to look at his face. The words cut deep. Riku presses further, telling Sora to ask his own memories why Naminé vanished from the islands in the first place. Sora wonders aloud if it was somehow his fault she left. Riku tells him to go home, insisting that he will save Naminé instead. Then he attacks. They clash, keyblade against blade. But when Sora gains the upper hand, Riku retreats without explanation. By the time Sora gives chase, he has vanished. Jiminy admits the encounter felt wrong. Riku's tone, his presence, it was almost as if Ansem had returned and was manipulating him again. Sora hesitates, but Jiminy reminds him where they are. Castle Oblivion twists memories. It shows what it wants them to see. Not everything here is real. If something is wrong with Riku, then they will fix it together. Donald and Goofy echo the promise they made long ago when they first met Sora. No matter what happens, they keep moving forward with a smile. Whatever this castle is doing to them, they will face it together. The next card carries them beneath the sea to Atlantica, a vibrant underwater world. Somehow they can still breathe, despite not being in their aquatic forms, though none of them question it for long. As they stand around, they run into Princess Ariel, the adventurous mermaid daughter of King Triton, clutching her father's powerful trident. Startled to see them, she quickly makes them promise not to reveal that they found her. At the palace, they meet Bastion, King Triton's loyal court composer and advisor, who explains the crisis. The royal trident has been stolen, leaving Atlantica vulnerable, and Ariel has vanished. Realizing Ariel must be connected to both mysteries, Sora and his friends set out to find her. They discover her in her secret grotto, holding the trident and clearly conflicted. Before she can explain herself, Ursula, the manipulative sea witch, emerges from the shadows. With honeyed words, she offers to help, claiming she can rescue Ariel's dear friend, Flounder, if she is only allowed to borrow the trident. After Ursula leaves, Sora urges Ariel not to trust her. Instead, they promise to save Flounder themselves. But when they reach Ursula's lair, the truth is revealed. Ursula captured Flounder in the first place, and intends to trade him for the trident. Faced with no other choice, Ariel hands it over. Empowered by the weapon, Ursula grows formidable, yet Sora defeats her and reclaims the trident. Peace returns to Atlantica, though Ariel fears her father's anger for taking the trident without permission. She resolves to tell him the truth. Jiminy praises her choice, reminding them all that honesty is the best policy. Back in Castle Oblivion, Sora encounters Riku again. Riku insists he should leave, that he doesn't need rescuing, but Sora refuses to abandon him or Naminé. Riku counters that he never asked to be saved, and reminds Sora that when they sealed the door to Kingdom Hearts, he entrusted Kairi's safety to him. Riku claims he has no intention of returning to Destiny Islands, and questions whether Sora even remembers everyone who lived there. When Sora tries to recall the details, his certainty falters. Riku tells him not to feel ashamed. Castle Oblivion strips away what doesn't matter and reveals what truly does. For Riku, that truth is simple. Protecting Naminé is all that matters now. Sora insists he will help him remember, and the two clash again, their battle echoing the duels they once fought as boys. Sora wins, but Riku remains unyielding. He will save Naminé himself, and he will not allow Sora to worm his way into her heart. Elsewhere in the castle, Naminé sits alone until Axel appears. He observes coolly that it must be painful to watch two childhood friends fight because of her. He offers sympathy, but quickly dismisses it. Nobodies, he says, can never hope to become somebodies. Feelings like hers are pointless. As Sora and his friends continue upward, Sora can't understand why he and Riku have become enemies, when both of them want to protect Naminé. Yet something feels off. The more he thinks about her, the dimmer his memories of Kairi become. The peaceful days on Destiny Islands feel different now. Not sunlit afternoons with Kairi, but moments shared with Riku and Naminé instead. And somewhere deep inside, something precious is quietly being pushed aside. The next door opens onto Captain Hook's pirate ship in Neverland. The salty air and creaking timbers are familiar, yet distant, as if remembered through fog. They are greeted by Tinkerbell, the tiny fairy who once helped them fly, and she quickly leads them to Peter Pan, the boy who never grows up. But when they speak to him, something feels off. They can't quite remember why they came in the first place. Peter wastes no time, explaining that pirates have kidnapped his friend, Wendy, and Sora immediately offers to help. They find Wendy below deck, but when Peter urges her to escape and return to their endless adventures, Wendy gently tells him that she wants to go home to London, even if that means growing up. The words wound him more deeply than any sword. Peter storms off, refusing to accept it. On deck, Captain Hook mistakes Sora and the others for Peter's allies, and prepares to make Wendy walk the plank. Peter returns just in time to save her, and together they defeat Hook. Afterward, Peter asks Wendy one last time if she will reconsider. She will not. He sighs and says that everyone eventually grows up and forgets him. Wendy insists she never will, but Peter quietly tells her she will forget, little by little, until nothing remains. Sora steps in, offering a different view. Even if memories fade, they are not gone. They sleep within the heart, waiting for the right moment to awaken. What is carved into the heart can never truly disappear. With that, Peter escorts Wendy home, and Sora and the others find their way off the ship. Back in Castle Oblivion, they are surprised by the lack of resistance. Perhaps, they reason, Riku has finally grown tired of fighting. Elsewhere, Axel, Vexen, and Vexen meet in secret. Vexen demands to know why Vexen's experiment, Riku, has not yet stopped Sora. Vexen dismisses her impatience. Soon, another figure joins them, removing his hood to reveal Marluxia, the castle's overseer, petals shifting in his wake. He coldly declares Vexen's project a failure. Vexen bristles, reminding him that in the organization's rank he stands higher. But Marluxia counters that he has been entrusted with Castle Oblivion and with Naminé herself. To defy him would be treason. Axel coolly notes that traitors are dealt with swiftly. To prove himself, Vexen announces that he will personally eliminate Sora, a move that threatens Marluxia's deeper plans. As Vexen departs, Marluxia turns to Naminé and reminds her of a promise Sora once made to her. By the 10th floor, Sora and his friends pause. 10 floors climbed means 10 layers of memories lost. Donald wonders if they should turn back before there is nothing left. But Sora refuses. He remembers a promise he made to Naminé on the islands, to keep her safe no matter what. That is reason enough to press on. The next door leads to Hollow Bastion, the dark fortress once ruled by Maleficent. There they overhear Belle and the Beast arguing. The Beast claims he has come to rescue her, but Belle insists she did not ask him to come and refuses to leave with him. She sends him away and enters the castle alone. Inside the library, Belle asks Sora if Maleficent captured them as well. When Maleficent appears, they hide and overhear her plan. She intends to lure the Beast by using Belle as bait. When Maleficent pressures her to call for him, Belle refuses. But the Beast can't abandon her and returns anyway. He admits that Belle taught him to think of others, yet saving her now will be his last selfish act. Maleficent is moved by the strength of his heart and decides she will claim it. Before she can, Belle throws herself between them and is struck down, her heart stolen. Maleficent flees. They pursue her, and she mocks Belle's sacrifice. By denying her love, she kept her heart safe, but by protecting the Beast, she affirmed it, giving Maleficent what she wanted, declaring that she will take the Beast's heart next. Maleficent transforms into a dragon. Sora defeats her, restoring Belle's heart and reuniting the two. Leaving them behind, he continues upward. This time, upon returning to Castle Oblivion, Vexen blocks their path. He claims Sora owes him for reuniting him with his former friend, revealing that he was the one who brought Riku into the castle. They battle, and once again Sora prevails. Yet, Vexen reveals that during their fight, he probed Sora's deepest memories. From the far side of his heart, he has crafted a card, born from what lies hidden there. He offers it to Sora before vanishing. The card bears the name of a place, Twilight Town. Later, the organization gathers again. Axel remarks that Sora's death would ruin their plans. Marluxia replies that Axel knows exactly what must be done. When Axel asks him to say it plainly, Marluxia does. Vexen has committed treason and must be eliminated. Axel accepts the order without hesitation and disappears to take care of the matter. Using the new card, Sora opens the way to Twilight Town, a quiet world bathed in orange sunsets and long shadows. Unlike the other worlds, this place does not feel like a memory reshaped. It feels unfamiliar. None of them ever remember coming here. And that realization unsettles them more than anything else so far. If every world has been born from Sora's memories, then what does it mean that this one is not? Trying to steady himself, Sora takes Naminé's good luck charm into his hand. He says there's a special memory tied to it. When there were children on the islands, there was a meteor shower. Naminé began to cry, afraid a falling star might strike their home. Sora told her that if a shooting star ever came near, he would knock it right back into space. The charm was her reminder of that promise, that he would always protect her. As they explore the town, they find a mansion deep in the woods. Sora is certain he has never seen it before. Yet, something about it feels familiar. Vexen appears and challenges him. Which is more real? His memories of Naminé, or the feelings this place stirs inside him? Sora insists that his memories of Naminé are real, and that this town is just another trick. Vexen counters that Twilight Town was crafted from memories buried on the other side of Sora's heart. If Sora refuses to accept what lies there, he is no true Keyblade master. He is a slave to manipulated memories, just like his Riku. They fight again, and Sora defeats him once more. Vexen is bewildered that Sora's strength endures, even as his memories continue to unravel. Sora demands to know what Vexen has done to Riku, but Vexen only says that Riku's fate is to sink into darkness, and that Sora will share that fate if he continues to pursue Naminé. The more he seeks her, the tighter the chains around his heart will become, until he is nothing more than Maluxia's pawn. Before Vexen can reveal more, Axel appears and silences him. Axel speaks of nobodies, being with no hearts, who exist without truly being anyone. Then, with a snap of his fingers, he reduces Vexen to flames. The scientist vanishes. Angry, Sora demands to know who they are. Axel only shrugs, and admits he sometimes wonders the same thing, before disappearing himself. Later, Axel returns to Maluxia and Larxene. They praise him for eliminating Vexen, revealing that the experiment was not only about testing Sora, but also about testing Axel's loyalty. If he could dispose of a fellow member, his commitment was proven. Larxene boasts that taking over the organization will be simple, with the three of them united. Maluxia turns to Naminé and tells her to rejoice. Soon she will meet the hero she's been waiting for. All she must do is continue weaving Sora's memories, drawing his heart closer to herself. When the others leave, Axel notices Naminé's hesitation. She wonders what Sora will truly do when he finally reaches her. Meanwhile, Sora presses onward, only to find Riku waiting again. Riku warns him that if he continues climbing, he will only hurt Naminé. He claims he is protecting her of his own will. He reminds Sora of a promise he made during a meteor shower, that he would knock shooting stars away to protect the islands. Sora insists he was the one there that night. When they both reveal identical good luck charms from Naminé as proof, neither can deny what they see. The contradiction leaves them with only one answer: they fight. After losing, Riku retreats yet again, but this time he leaves the charm behind. When Sora picks it up, it transforms into a new card, bearing the image of Destiny Islands. Donald and Goofy struggle to understand how both Sora and Riku can share the same memory. They can't both be right. Sora insists the only way to know the truth is to reach Naminé. Goofy gently points out how deeply Naminé now affects him, which is especially strange, considering he didn't even know her name before entering the castle. Donald urges him to slow down and think clearly, but Sora rushes ahead, driven by a need he can no longer explain, leaving his friends behind. Elsewhere, Axel approaches Naminé once more. He tells her that she is now the only thing Sora has left. If she doesn't change course, no one will stop what is coming. Naminé says it may already be too late. Axel encourages her not to give up just yet. Marluxia is absent, and for once, no one is watching her every move. If she wants to choose differently, this is her chance. As she leaves to act, Axel murmurs that she should make it count. Alone again, he admits to himself that he is surprised to find himself being able to feel amused. Using the next card, Sora opens the path to Destiny Islands. The ocean breeze and familiar shoreline greet him. Yet something feels wrong. He reunites with Tidus, Waka, and Selfie, his childhood friends from the islands, but though their faces are familiar, their names escape him. Strangely, his memories of Naminé remain clear. The trio head off to play, leaving Sora to search for the girl he believes he once protected. Instead of Naminé, he encounters Riku. Before they can speak at length, a rumbling echoes across the islands. Riku says he will check on the others, and tells Sora to make sure she is safe. Darkness begins swallowing the world, just as it did once before. A massive Heartless rises, and Sora defeats it, carving a path through the chaos until Naminé stands before him. She says she is glad to see him, but this is not how it was meant to be. She admits she was lonely, so lonely that she called out to his heart and drew him here. She apologizes. She was never supposed to be a part of his past. She doesn't truly exist inside his heart. In fact, she doesn't exist in anyone's heart. As she speaks, two versions of her appear. He shows her the good luck charm she gave him. One Naminé smiles at the sight of it, while the other urges him to call out to the person most special to him. When he does, the charm transforms into Kairi's. Even then, he still struggles to remember her name. The illusion fades, and Sora stands once more in Castle Oblivion, face to face with the real Naminé. He admits she's not the one most precious to him, and she gently confirms it. The girl he always wished to protect was someone else. Before she can explain further, Riku appears again, claiming Sora's memories are in ruins, and that he alone will protect Naminé. They clash once more, but this time, Riku wins. As he prepares to strike the final blow, Naminé intervenes, using her powers to shatter the false foundation of his heart. He collapses. Vexen arrives, revealing the truth. The Riku before them was nothing but a replica created by Vexen. His memories were planted. Naminé has the power to enter a person's heart, rearrange their memories, even create new ones that never existed. The childhood she gave Sora was a fabrication. They nearly turned him into their puppet to seize the Keyblade's power, but Axel's betrayal ruined their plan. Now Vexen will finish it herself. When she knocks Naminé aside, Sora steps forward, declaring he will protect her, even if the promise was born of lies. Donald and Goofy return to his side, and together they defeat Vexen. As she fades, she can't believe she has truly been beaten. Naminé tearfully confesses that she replaced Sora's real memories piece by piece. The islands, the meteor shower, all of it was false. But she can fix it, if they reach the 13th floor, and confront Marluxia, the one who forced her to tamper with their hearts. Sora tells her not to cry. Even if the memories were fake, the feelings he feels are real. As they ascend, they ask Naminé to stay with the unconscious Riku. A genuine connection begins to form between them. On the way up, Sora still can't fully recall Kairi. Donald admits he feels unsteady too. Goofy suggests they make a promise, that no matter what happens, even if they are afraid, separated, or forget each other, they'll always be friends. They seal it together with the words, all for one and one for all. Elsewhere, Axel confronts Marluxia. Marluxia calls him a traitor, but Axel counters that Marluxia is the true conspirator, plotting to overthrow the organization by controlling Sora. Axel claims he is merely following orders, eliminating a traitor. When he attacks, Marluxia summons Naminé as a shield. Axel says he will strike through her if he must, forcing Sora to intervene on Marluxia's behalf. Taking the bait, Sora defeats Axel. As he fades, Axel remarks that saving Sora was worth it, though Sora doesn't understand why. With Axel gone, Maluksha makes his final move. He commands Naminé to erase Sora's memories entirely, destroying his heart so he can be rebuilt as a puppet. Naminé refuses. Sora, astonishingly, tells her to do it anyway. Even without memories, he believes he can protect her. Donald and Goofy would remember him, and together they would rebuild what was lost. Maluksha mocks him, saying that without memories, he would become another empty replica. At that moment, the false Riku rises again, choosing of his own will to protect Naminé. They fight Maluksha, only for him to reveal it was an illusion. The real one waits beyond the final door. Sora entrusts Naminé's safety to the replica Riku, the only promise that matters to him. Beyond the door, Maluksha awaits, and transforms into a monstrous nobody. Wielding scythe and petals in a storm of oblivion, he declares that emptiness will consume Sora's heart. Yet, even stripped of certainty, Sora's resolve holds firm. Maluksha falls, dissolving into drifting petals. When Sora returns, the door is sealed with the Keyblade. They ask Naminé to restore their memories. She explains that memories are linked like a chain. She can't destroy them, only rearrange them. To restore what was lost, she must undo everything she changed, and that means they will forget everything that happened in Castle Oblivion, even her. It's the only way. Sora accepts. Naminé leads them to pods, where they must sleep while she repairs their hearts. Jiminy promises to write a note in his journal to thank her, so some trace will remain. Naminé admits that even if their meeting began with a lie, she is grateful it happened. Sora tells her the feelings he felt were real. They promise to meet again, this time without deception. She warns him he will forget that promise. He answers that even if the chain of memories breaks apart, the links will still exist somewhere in his heart. They seal it with a pinky promise. As Sora enters the pod, Naminé reminds him that there is someone else waiting, someone who is his light within the darkness. If he remembers her, the shadows will lift. Clutching Kairi's charm, Sora is finally flooded with the memories he lost. He remembers Kairi and his friends. Naminé appears one last time, affirming their promise before fading away. She will remain in his heart, forgotten, but never truly lost. In a place suspended between light and darkness, Riku awakens alone. A deep voice echoes around him, offering comfort. He can remain here, it says. He can sleep, wrapped safely in darkness, free from pain. Riku's first thought is of King Mickey. Where is he? The voice explains that after sealing the door to darkness, Riku drifted here on his own. He lacked the strength to overcome the darkness within him. Better to rest here forever, it suggests, than to struggle. A single card appears before Riku. If he takes it, the voice warns, his sleep will end. It will be the first step toward the truth. That truth will hurt. Once he steps forward, he will not be able to return to the safety of oblivion. Riku scoffs that it will be a boring place to nap anyway, and takes the card. The voice congratulates him on his choice. Light erupts from the card, and Riku finds himself inside Castle Oblivion. He uses the card to enter Hollow Bastion, not as Sora remembers it, but as Riku does, from the time he served Maleficent. The mysterious voice continues to guide him. Riku asks if he'll meet anyone here. Normally, the voice replies, a person encounters the memories tied to their heart, but Riku may find something different. he walks through the castle's empty halls and into his former chamber. He remembers how easily he was tempted, how readily he embraced the darkness in pursuit of strength. The voice reminds him how quickly he abandoned everything, his home, his friends, even himself in search of power. Riku insists he has turned away from the darkness, but the voice counters that casting things aside seems to be all his heart knows how to do. First his world, then the darkness itself. That is why his memories are hollow. That is why he meets no one. Eventually, he does encounter someone. Maleficent. She admits she is only a memory. Riku resents that of all people, she is the one who remains. Maleficent explains that a heart steeped in darkness can only call forth others who share that darkness. Riku declares he is finished with it. He will destroy the darkness, wherever it appears. Maleficent warns that doing so might mean destroying himself. They battle, and Riku defeats her even in her dragon form. Back in Castle Oblivion, the voice questions him. Why does he reject the darkness? It has always been his weapon. Perhaps it is time he learned to accept it instead. The speaker finally reveals himself. Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Riku is not surprised. Ansem tells him that only by accepting the darkness can he gain the strength he needs. If he refuses, he will fail again. Riku attacks, but Ansem easily repels him. Darkness is the only path to power, Ansem insists. Just as Riku begins to falter, a brilliant light pierces the void. It carries the voice of King Mickey.
Aha! Remember, Riku, you are not alone! Aha!
The light settles within him, and Mickey assures him that even in the deepest darkness, he can always find that light. Seeing Riku's resolve, Ansem changes tactics. If Riku will not accept his words, he will see the truth for himself. Ansem hands him another card, crafted from Riku's own memories. Chasing the light will not free him from darkness, Ansem warns. As a final gesture, Ansem tempers the darkness that still lingers in Riku's heart, and says that whether Riku uses it or not is his choice. Meanwhile, Ansem will be waiting for the day he yields. Deep within Castle Oblivion, 3 members of Organization XIII convene. Lexaeus, the silent powerhouse, whose strength speaks louder than words. Sexion, the keen observer whose power lies in illusion and intellect. And Vexen, the cold, calculating scientist. Vexen demands answers. Sexion explains that he sensed a presence in the castle's deepest basement. A scent remarkably similar to that of the one they call the Superior, their true leader. The implication unsettles them. Curious, they decide to watch and wait. Elsewhere, Riku senses something familiar himself, the lingering scent of darkness that has seeped into his very being. Then, another presence appears.
Aha! Don't worry, Riku.
King Mickey says, as he materializes before him, faint and translucent. The king explains that he can only project a fraction of his power into this place, but he urges Riku to keep believing in the light. They both know, having sealed Kingdom Hearts together, that even the deepest darkness holds light within it. Mickey promises he will find a way to reach him fully. Riku's path takes him through Traverse Town, though he encounters no friends, only Heartless. Back in the castle, the organization debates his presence. They had mistaken him for the Superior because of the darkness within him. Vexen believes Riku was drawn here because of Sora, who was summoned by Maluksha. But unlike Maluksha, Vexen's interest lies not in Sora, the hero of light, but in Riku, the hero of darkness. Riku next travels to Agrabah, confronting Heartless and defeating Jafar, before returning to the castle. There he confronts Vexen, asking whether he serves Ansem. Vexen clarifies that Riku is only half correct, as he serves Ansem's nobody, a figure that walks the twilight between light and dark, much like Riku himself. They battle, and though Riku prevails, Vexen is delighted. The fight has yielded valuable data on the darkness going within Riku, allowing him to leave satisfied. In Monstro, Riku presses forward, alone, fighting through waves of Heartless. Meanwhile, Sexion warns Lexaeus that Maluxia is using Naminé's power to rewrite Sora's memories, turning him into a Keyblade wielder he can control. Sora could be a tremendous asset to the organization, but Maluxia's intentions are suspect. Axel's loyalty is also uncertain. For now, they place their hopes in Vexen and the replica he is developing. Riku continues through Neverland, defeating his memory of Captain Hook before returning to the castle, only to face an exact duplicate of himself. The replica, crafted by Vexen using the data gathered from their battle, refuses to be called fake. They share the same form and abilities. The only difference, it claims, is that it does not fear the darkness. The real Riku does. They fight, and Riku wins, but the replica promises it will grow stronger. Next time, it says, the outcome will be different. The replica returns to Vexen, declaring it will soon surpass the original. Vexen instructs it to eliminate Sora, and the replica accepts, confident that Sora will fall easily. As Riku gives chase, Ansem intercepts him again. Rather than calling the replica a copy, Ansem suggests Riku view it as a model, a version of himself that embraces darkness without hesitation. Perhaps the real Riku is the one pretending. Ansem argues that Riku fights darkness, not because he commands it, but because he fears it. One day, he will accept that he can't escape it. Before vanishing, Ansem leaves him another set of cards. Riku continues through Atlantica and Halloween Town, confronting only darkness in each world. Back in the castle, Axel approaches Larxene and Vexen, offering assistance. Vexen plans to test Sora further, and Axel hands him a Destiny Islands card. Larxene proposes using Naminé and the card to implant Riku's true memories into the replica, overwriting its awareness that it's a copy. The replica protests, but they force the memories upon it. When Riku returns from another battle, Larxene taunts Naminé about tampering with Sora's heart. The replica interrupts, now armed with altered memories and determined to protect Naminé. It even shows her the good luck charm from its implanted past. Larxene admires how thoroughly it believes it is the real Riku, looking forward to how Naminé will change Sora. Yet Naminé quietly insists that no matter how much he can change Sora's memories, he will never truly forget Kairi. In fact, replacing her may only strengthen his bond to her, as Naminé herself is only a shadow of Kairi. Riku advances through Wonderland and ascends further into the castle. Meanwhile, Sexion informs Lexaeus that Vexen has been eliminated by Axel, a betrayal within their own ranks. While Sora can't be harmed due to the superior's designs for him as a hero of light, Riku is expendable. If they can't control the hero of light, perhaps they can manipulate the hero of darkness instead. Riku continues climbing, passing through Olympus Coliseum and defeating Hades, before returning to Castle Oblivion. This time, Lexaeus is waiting. The imposing giant grips his massive weapon and tells Riku to stop resisting. "Cast away your fear," he says. "Open your heart fully to the darkness." Riku refuses. They clash, and though Riku gains the upper hand at first, Lexaeus overwhelms him with brute force and knocks him unconscious. In that moment of weakness, Ansem seizes control of Riku's body and finishes Lexaeus himself, reminding Lexaeus of the power of the superior. Inside his own heart, Riku confronts Ansem directly. Ansem vows to claim his heart completely, but as he reaches for him, King Mickey's light intervenes again.
Ha-ha! Riku, fight! Don't let him win! Ha-ha!
the king says as his presence shields him, forcing Ansem back. When Riku awakens, Mickey is gone, but Riku knows the light remains within him. Elsewhere, Axel approaches Sexion. With Vexen, Larxene, and Lexaeus gone, Axel wonders who is next. Sexion suggests it could be Axel himself. Axel shrugs it off since he has already fought Sora, and the Keyblade wielder now believes him to be dead. He asks what Sexion intends to do about Riku now. Sexion answers simply, saying Riku has become more trouble than he is worth. Sexion appears before Riku and informs him that Marluxia has been defeated by the wielder of the Keyblade. Riku immediately asks about Sora, but Sexion cautions him. In his current state, with darkness and Ansem still residing in his heart, it may not be wise to face the hero of light. Instead, Sexion hands him a Destiny Islands card and tells him to see the truth for himself. Back on the islands, Riku breathes in the ocean air, surprised by how much he missed it. He spots Tidus, Waka, and Selphie. But when he approaches, they vanish. He finds Kairi, and she too disappears. In her place stands Sexion, reminding him that every world he has visited has reflected the darkness inside him. Riku opened the door to darkness, leading to the destruction of the islands. Riku cast everything aside, and shouldn't be surprised when it doesn't return to him. Then Sora appears and attacks Riku, calling him a creature of darkness. Sora declares that it's time for Riku to face the light. As Riku begins to fade, Naminé appears in Kairi's form. She tells him that neither light nor darkness can erase him. He must accept both. Realizing that darkness is a part of him, Riku embraces it without surrendering to it. Illusion shatters. Sexion is exposed and defeated, barely escaping. But Axel arrives with the replica Riku at his side. The replica seeks something the original possesses, a true sense of self. Axel remarks that Sexion has learned too much and has the replica eliminate him. Back in the castle, Ansem confronts Riku again, pleased that he has finally accepted the darkness. He tries once more to seize control, but this time, King Mickey appears in person. Riku reaches out just to make sure he is real. Mickey laughs as Riku touches his face and says,
"Ha-ha, whoa, that tickles, ha-ha!"
He explains that a Twilight Town card helped him escape the realm of darkness and find Riku. He hands it over, saying it must have been meant for him. In Twilight Town, Riku meets Ansem again, but quickly realizes this is not the same presence within his heart. The scent is wrong. The figure drops the disguise and reveals himself as Diz, a mysterious figure clad in crimson. He has been observing Riku to offer him a choice. Soon, he says, Riku will meet Naminé and decide his path. At the mansion, Riku faces his replica once more. The replica acknowledges that Riku no longer fears the darkness, yet it still feels empty. The only way to become real is to be the only Riku. They fight, and Riku prevails. As the replica fades, it wonders where its heart will go. Riku answers that perhaps their hearts will share the same destination. Riku then finds Naminé beside the pod where Sora sleeps, as his true memories are restored. She explains everything and offers Riku a choice. Ansem will awaken again one day. She can seal the darkness within his heart, locking Ansem away. But the cost would be forgetting everything tied to the darkness returning, to who he was before. Riku refuses. He will face Ansem himself as the person he has become. He reunites with Mickey, who mentions that Diz filled him in. The king admits Diz seems strangely familiar, but can't quite place him. Since Riku has chosen his path, Diz gives him a black Organization cloak to shield him from pursuit, and one final card to settle things with Ansem once and for all. In their final confrontation, Ansem demands to know why Riku still resists him. Is he not afraid of the darkness anymore? Riku answers simply that he can't stand Ansem's stench. They battle, and Riku destroys the lingering shadow of Ansem. Though Ansem warns, that a part of him will always remain and will return one day. When it's over, Mickey asks what comes next. Riku says he can't return home yet. He still feels Ansem's presence faintly within him. Mickey tells him that darkness belongs to him just as much as light does. He has proven they can coexist. Where that road leads, no one knows. But Mickey extends his hand and says,
Aha, I'd like to walk the road with ya.
Clad in black, they step forward together into the night. Diz appears and offers Riku a choice, the road to light or the road to darkness. Riku chooses neither. He will walk the middle path, not the road to nightfall, the road to dawn. And so concludes the complete story of Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, a tale of rewritten pasts, fractured identities, and promises that refuse to fade, even when the memories attached to them do. We hope you enjoyed this retelling. There's still much of the Kingdom Hearts saga left to unravel, and we look forward to continuing the journey with you. If you'd like to see more complete story videos, consider subscribing to the channel and let us know in the comments which game you would like to see receive the treatment. But until next time,